Hi guys, Christine here. Today I'm talking about being a creative entrepreneur. If you don't know me, I'm Christine Gilbert. I'm the author of AlmostFearless.com and the book Mother Tongue, and I've been traveling around the world since 2008. It's been 9 years now, and I've been had 3 kids along the way. I was recognized by National Geographic Traveler, and over the years, I've made an income completely online and doing writing and video and photography and the kind of creative projects that I wanted to do at the time. And so this is really, being a creative entrepreneur is my life. This is what I do. So I'm super excited to talk about this today because it's a topic I don't think enough people are addressing, and I don't think people have really clued in to why it's so important. But first, what's a creative entrepreneur? It is essentially someone who decides to be a writer or some kind of creative, and then wraps a business around it. Okay, so we have profit and service to creating. And what that means is that we have some constraints. We cannot just make profit at any cost. It has to match our values. And we're motivated by doing these creative projects. So the process matters. The projects we get to do matters. So if you take a writer and you say, I'll pay you, $100 an hour to write dog food articles, or I'll pay you $25 an hour to write whatever you want. I think most writers will take the second option. Um, we want to get paid, but like there is an inherent, I mean, I guess what you would say is there's a $75 an hour value in getting to choose what we want to do, you know? And for everyone, that number is going to be different, but that is a huge difference than a regular business. Secondly, we want to be hands on. We're not going to outsource the writing to someone else if that's the thing that we're here to do, or if it's podcasting, or if it's making a documentary film, whatever our creative projects are that we want to be doing, that's that's part of it. That's what we want to be able to do. And then finally, employee satisfaction is non-negotiable. I mean, we're the employee, so we want this to be fun and we want to have a good work-life balance. It's part of it. So you talk about being a creative entrepreneur, and it's almost becoming a buzzword at this point. And I always wonder, like, hey, does that mean it's a fad? Like, is what I'm doing a fad? And so I took a look at it, and I'll make the case that this is actually the future. Automation is here. It's coming. 47% of our jobs will be gone in 25 years. What are people going to do? Half of the jobs are gone. What are people going to do instead? And the crazy thing is we have this gap between the reality of what's going on in the world and what higher education's doing. So like going to college right now is a big question mark to me. And I have 3 kids. I'm like, I'm not sure unless things drastically change. I don't think it's going to be worth sending them to college because 2/3 of students are training for jobs that won't even exist. I mean, they're just so far behind the times. It's ridiculous. And if you look at, okay, well, what should I be doing if a lot of these, half of the jobs are going away? What jobs are safe? And surprise, what everyone is saying is that anything that's creative is going to be safe. And that really just means, they're not going to be able to get a robot to do this. You can't automate this. And you're not going to really want to outsource it either. So globalization is really the problem with outsourcing. It's like, is creativity going to be sent over to China? No, it's not. Is is this kind of creation of the work that we're doing going to be done by a bot? Can we have a writer bot, photographer bot? I don't think so. And so if you're looking for the future, you're like, I'm going to shift my career. I'm going to change what I'm doing. I'm going to focus on something. I'm going to work on building this, not just for this year, but for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years into the future. Will this be a good career path for me? I think this is the exact direction that society is moving in right now. So let's look at China though. Let's look at what they're doing, and just one more like little data point. They've got 1.4 billion people. Name one Chinese car brand. They can't do it. And there's a book by Peter Hessler who examined this, and there's a lot of reasons why. But the bottom line is they can't innovate. This is Harvard Business Review. This is academia catching up to what's going on and talking about creativity as a business problem. You know what I mean? So we have finally this understanding that there's a problem in China that they can't innovate, but also for the business world, creativity matters. And I mean, just to bring this back to us, I mean, what it comes down to is that, we are out there doing this stuff. There's some risk involved in it, but we are clearing the path for innovation. And I think whenever you're doing a social good for society, we're risk takers. We write a blog, we become vulnerable, we show people our lives, and we say that it's okay to fail and it's okay to be human, it's okay to be creative, it's okay to do these different creative projects. That creates a society that feels more like it's okay to do those things, and it's this ripple effect. And that's when you get the Facebook creators and the Google creators and the Silicon Valley people. We are kind of part of that fabric, and China doesn't have that, you know? So when you're doing a societal good, is being like clearing the path and making it okay for everyone else. I think wherever you position yourself in a place of doing good, that is a good place to be. And I know that universities and colleges are starting to think about this. And I've been contacted by some because they want to figure out how to rewrite their business programs to actually address this. How do you become a creative entrepreneur? So we're way, way, way ahead of the curve, even though I know people have been doing this for 10, 20 years. The internet's changed everything, but there's no real academic understanding of this yet. We're not there yet. There's no 4-year degree. You can't go to college for it. So I've been trying to put together what some of the baseline things are, and I think there's three major things that make a difference for creative entrepreneurs and why it's different than a regular business. So we know that we have these constraints. We have to have projects that we love. We have to like do the work ourselves, and we have to be happy doing it. So then what are the advantages if we have these limitations? The advantages are that the creative work actually lends itself naturally to organic reach and platform. It just means your ability to reach people is like a soda brand or a car brand or a shoe brand has to pay a lot of money to do what we do naturally, and we can hit numbers that they hit. We can reach 1 million people. Next is diversity of projects. The people who are doing this well have to understand is that creativity and creating things is all huge risk. All of it's risk because you can't control for reception. You don't know how much people will love something or they won't. So the people who are creative entrepreneurs and actually do really well diversify their projects. And if you look at my background, you see, oh, she's a photographer and a filmmaker and a writer. She wrote a book and she's got a blog and she did ebooks. I mean, that's over almost a decade. But the truth is, like, those kinds of changes in different styles of projects and seeing what works and testing different things out, that's part of it. And then finally, format matters. And I'm not just talking about like print versus ebooks, but also social media and different apps that are out now. Being able to kind of jump between these different worlds and understanding, for example, that your Facebook page is kind of like a microblog, and people who get format or get what Pinterest does or get what Instagram's all about, when you get format and understand that it's all part of a larger business plan, those people tend to do really well. So, and this is a business model that the media is beginning to embrace. It's like you look at the New York Times, you look at any of these large publishers, they're starting to shift into using different formats. They're diversifying what they're doing. They're doing podcasts, they're doing ebooks, they're getting on social media. They're starting to realize this and build it into their business plan. So I know that this isn't just a rogue bunch of bloggers doing this, although that's where it started. But what I'm seeing over the years, I've watched BuzzFeed, I've watched all these companies come up through the years and do what bloggers have been doing all along. And it's working for them. So I know it scales. It can scale out to like a large company and it works. Okay. So that's what I'm doing this month with the Creative Entrepreneur Mastermind, is taking all of this kind of knowledge that I've gained from the last 9 years of doing this stuff and all the research I've done of trying to figure out how this fits in and how to create basically a business course for how to make money online as a creative entrepreneur. And I don't think anyone else is doing it. I don't think anyone else is taking the same things into account. I want you to build that empire without burning yourself out. I want you to take your limited time and use it on things that really matter. And I want you to diversify and make the most money possible by protecting your uh, creative risks and diversifying the projects that you work on. So that's all happening now with the Creative Mastermind, and we're launching on May 1st. And I'm super, super excited. It is 6 months with me. That's going to take you from wherever you are now. You can be way into it or just starting out, and I'm going to get you there. That's my goal for this program, is to get 100% of the people starting out to the end to have a built business that's making money by the end of this program. If that sounds like something you'd be into, I would love for you to join us and design the life that you want, because it's totally possible. Thanks.